Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
I'm ANITA FINLEY, and you're listening to another Boomer Times, a Boomertimes radio show. And I always have such interesting guests, and nowadays it's not only interesting, but it's important. So if you're home and you have time to listen, these are going to inspire you. They're going to make you feel better and give you so many things to think about. So who else would I want to have on, though, but Colleen Haney, who's the owner-founder of Communicating Energy Wellness. It's an institute, and it's in Boca Raton, and Colleen is magical, I'll tell you that. And she has lots of things that she's going to share with you this morning. So thank you for joining us, Colleen.
Well, thank you, ANITA, for having this opportunity. And it's kind of wonderful because you had me on your show right as we were beginning this whole shelter in place back in March. And here we are in May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we're starting to see the state open up, and people are beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's most appropriate that your timing has been excellent. So what I would like to talk about a little bit today is that we have been in contraction. If you remember from the last time we talked, we were going into a contraction, and contraction energetically is always a wonderful opportunity because that means we're gathering up our energies for the next expansion. And so we've been in a pretty good state of contraction. We've been kind of under the microscope, or another way to think about it is the seed in the ground germinating, getting ready to, poke up through the earth.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we are right now. So we've had this wonderful time to germinate. And I'm sure many people have gone through the whole range of emotions from overwhelm, confusion, fear of the unknown, powerlessness, to perhaps now coming out to this end result of acceptance. And I'm hoping people are beginning to tap into the truth of who we all are. So changing that overwhelm, confusion, and unknown to I am power, I am control, I am awareness, I am joy, I am money, I am creativity. So some of the things that we've had an opportunity to think about is, do we now, after these 2 months, have a greater appreciation of the value of our own life?
Thinking about what you just said, okay, so the value of our own life, is that because we have to have had quiet because we're not allowed to do a lot of other things? And so is it because we've been able to reflect on things?
Yes, exactly. And because people have been dying. So literally the question has been, am I going to get the virus? Am I going to die? And so it's given us that opportunity to really appreciate the value of our own life, the fact that we are living beings and it could end at any time.
True. Yes, well, that's a good point, Colleen, and you expressed it so well. So I do remember when I visited you and we were having a session, you were very blunt and said, "So do you think you're going to die, ANITA?" And I said, "No, I don't think so." So that was important, wasn't it?
It is really important to claim, whether you're going to live or die. Are you choosing to have that life force come through you? Are you choosing to connect with that life force every day and realize that, this is a choice to be here on this planet? This is a choice to allow the energy flow to move through us.
Okay. So now, and one thing that you started the show off with, of course, is that now things are opening up, but I do want to urge people not to do it too quickly, not to jump, especially in older adults. Still wear your mask, still keep space. And it's amazing, Colleen, how many companies and businesses now have permanent, I guess they look like they're permanent signs on the front door,
Yes.
to be very careful.
Yeah. And you're very right, because energetically, the energy isn't quite done. So you are absolutely right that we still need a little bit more time in this reflective state. We're still in a contraction, even though things are going to open up slowly, and that's perfect energetically, that we want this contraction phase to open up gently, smoothly, easily into the fullness of the next expansion. So another thing that we've had the opportunity to take a look at is hopefully many people have taken a look at their own belief system, whether that be faith or spirituality, and recognizing that, there is the opportunity here for a belief in something much greater than us, and that we are, in fact, co-creators with spirit, God, consciousness. So it's been an opportunity for a lot of people to connect again in a whole new, different way. We've been moving from religiosity, religions, organized churches for years now, and the growth of spirituality, the growth of this consciousness of us really recognizing that we are part of a much bigger picture. And it's been beautifully represented in this whole experience, because we've been a global consciousness that this has happened all the way across the world. Every government, every country, every church, every organization, institution in the whole world has had to deal with this.
That's true, and I don't know of anything in my lifetime, even the war, where it was totally everywhere.
Right, exactly. There's never been anything. This is totally unprecedented in human culture, human history. Another thing that we've had a chance to take a look at, is there anything in my life that I would choose now to do differently as a result of these 2 months of being home, under the microscope, so to speak, with ourselves, with our families? Is there anything that you would choose to do differently now as things begin slowly to open back up again? What are the things that you longed for when you were sheltering in place?
Well, I think one thing that's come out is that people are talking to one another. They're eating together. They're doing things they never did. I know a couple who they always went off to their own room, watched TV, and now they have their meals at night together, which is amazing. I thought they should have always, but they didn't. But this kind of made them, I don't know, was it that they appreciated one another? They were scared. I don't know what happened, but I think that's what you're talking about, isn't it? New ways.
Yes, and what do you want now? As a result of really having to be still, basically, what are the kinds of things that are new and different that maybe you never even thought about, but because you now have a new value of life, because there's an opportunity for a new belief in something greater than yourself, what would you want to do now?
Okay.
And you hit upon the next item that I had written down here in thinking of the whole picture. It has given us all a greater sense of closeness with others, not only our neighbors, our family members. I don't know how many people have told me they've had Zoom calls with their family, entire families, like family reunions on Zoom.
Right.
Which has been really wonderful. People that perhaps you haven't connected with for years, or family members that are 2 and 3 twice removed, that people have had the opportunity to connect with on multiple times through this, 2-month opportunity.
I just want everybody to know my guest is Colleen Haney. She's the owner-founder of Communicating Energy Wellness Institute in Boca Raton, and we're having quite a conversation here. This is philosophical, but it's very real, too. And if any of you are feeling very, very emotional, you can't quite get it together, you can call Colleen, and let me give you a phone number. Call her, set up an appointment. She can do this, as she said, on Zoom until you all can be together. And the phone number is 561-212-5862. Is that correct?
No. 561-212-6862.
I didn't say that? Sorry. I thought I did. 6862. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
212.
Okay.
Yeah, 561-212-6862.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Okay. So we have that now. Okay. Well, let me get back to what you were saying about communicating. So is it that people were just too busy? What made them want to start communicating now?
Well, I think it is because life has slowed down. Number two, I think we've all come back in contact with this very human need that we have to be in community. You know, we're really not made as human beings to be isolated, to be alone. Our species is a community species. And one of my concerns as a touch therapist is the need that we physically have for touch, and how soon are we going to be able to go back to those opportunities of touching. And I was actually going to suggest that for those people that are more sensitive and touch is very, very important to them, and we literally can't touch sometimes, other people or hug like we used to, or get a massage or get some energy work, is please start touching yourself. Rub your arms, hug yourself. Because there is a chemical that is released in the brain that is a feel-good chemical, serotonin, when your skin actually gets touched. So please touch yourself. Inappropriate as well as inappropriate places to get that serotonin moving through your body again.
That's a very good point. And Colleen, I would just want to share something though. People who live alone normally, they have their own situations, but then living alone with something that's been frightening has probably been very difficult. And I'm hoping that they get their health back on track.
Yes, and it is really important. And I would say that's one of the decisions. This has been a time of reflection and opportunity for making decisions. So if someone is depressed, sad, lonely, as I said, still feeling overwhelmed or confused, please, please, please reach out and seek help. And many, many places are making services available.
That's good. Okay, so when we talk now about it's really almost rejuvenation. Now it's a whole new day. What should people be doing? Making lists, or how do they get on track with all this?
Well, people can make lists. That's a little more logical and linear. The left side of the brain, I would suggest just spending time kind of daydreaming and utilize the opposite side of the brain, which is pulling in more of the energy now that is attuning to the planet with this change that we've gone through, to imagine, to daydream, what are the kinds of things that you want now to see in your life? And spend some time in the daydreaming, because we do know with all the science, neuroscience, neurotheology, all the new sciences that are coming, our thoughts make creation. Our thoughts is what materializes into our day-to-day world. So those things that you want now to have, if it's people, friendships, relationships, a new job, a new car, new clothes, whatever it is, allow yourself to daydream, to visualize, to be in the energy of having that thing that you now want as a result of this solitude, as a result of this quiet, as a result of this slow down and pause. And let yourself truly be in that energy. Use your imagination, visualize, feel it, imagine, talk to it, and allow yourself to enter this phase of creation to bring things into materialization. Our thoughts determine everything.
That's right, negative or positive, right?
Yeah, even our physical well-being. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. The other thing that has happened now is, and I'm sure you have seen it on the news and TV, how many people have reached out to help others? And this has been a wonderful opportunity. Even our news media has shown us, all the good things that are happening. And that's probably the first time in a long time that news has really focused on the good that is happening in the world. And to allow ourselves to be reminded that there is much, 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 much more goodness in the world than the problems, than the fear, than the confusion and overwhelm. And again, that goodness is an energy. It's an energy to allow yourself to sit in, to think about, to be.
While we're taking a little pause, let me just talk about one of our sponsors who is doing exactly what you were talking about, the Roland Center. The Roland Center, of course, they have their staff, but they really run 100% with volunteers. And if you're looking to be a volunteer, it's really important that you call them. They need volunteers for so many things, and the best thing about volunteering is it will do you as much good as it does for others. So let me give you a phone number that you can call there, and make sure that you do that, because volunteering is some of the things that we know that's should be high on your list. The number is 561-395-8920. They're in Boca Raton, right off Palmetto and I-95. Okay, Colleen, why don't you go ahead and just keep going with this? Is very enlightening, and you always do such a good job when you talk with people. It's so spiritual, but so down to earth at the same time.
Thank you. Another piece of information or aspects of ourselves that we could have had an opportunity to get in touch with during this time of contraction was to really realize that you are stronger than you think. We actually, if you're alive, if you've functioned in life in any way, you are stronger than you think. And you've handled so many things throughout life already to this point. So it's important to recognize that deep down within you is a strength that can handle anything, and that you are much, much stronger than you ever believed that you were.
And so saying that, you have to be highly motivated to do that and to know. So should you be writing down your strengths first?
That's a great idea. Again, that would be energy, that you would be sitting in this energy of my own strength. What do I do well? What have people complimented me on, throughout my life? What things have I accomplished? What things have I gotten through before that have been very, very difficult? As you sit in that energy of realizing that you have, and every single one of us, no matter what age you are, we have all gone through things that have been tough. Something that could be tough for a 5-year-old might be considered easy for someone older, but it's still tough for that younger child. So we've all gone through things that we never thought would be able to get through, and we've done it before. So tapping into that memory of knowing that we are stronger than we think, that we have accomplished difficult times before, that we do have strengths, we do have gifts, we do have power. We really do. And tapping into that energy power, that life force that runs through us, is like tapping into that life force of the blade of grass that breaks through the concrete and comes up through. We have, by our very essence of nature, we have that energy in us. And if we can allow it to come through, if we can even open up to the idea that there is an energy in us that is as strong as that little blade of grass that breaks up through the concrete, that's the truth of our being.
You just gave me a wonderful title. Be a blade of grass. Be a blade of grass popping out of the concrete.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's right.
That's really quite good when you think of it. How does that little blade of grass come out of concrete? How does it do that?
Right. And it's the same life force in that blade of grass that we have in us. We can contemplate even on the grass. There is one of the systems that I work with and teach and use in my own life is access consciousness. And in that process, you pull energy from nature. You pull energy from the grass, from the trees, from the bugs, from the birds, from the fish, from the water. Everything in nature, you pull energy through you. And you revitalize yourself as well as you refresh the energy in nature. So energy has amazing tools. When you begin to really look at everything as energy, our words, our feelings, our thoughts. There's no thing that is not energy, that we can see the patterns, we can learn energy tools, and we can change our life in many, many positive, wonderful ways.
And I met Colleen Haney quite a while ago, but I must say that we have something we do together, and it's called the AIM program. And you have Roberta Hladek, who comes and speaks on our radio show about that. And so it's great to meet and to know so many powerful women. And it does make a difference in people. And I know that the stories that I've heard from Roberta, especially when there was one with the coronavirus, and then the stories that you have shared. So people have to believe in something. You know, they have to share. They have to talk with people who maybe do things that they have no idea about. And it's okay. It's maybe at the moment you saying, well, a lot of the things you're talking about, I just can't get that. But I think if you sit and think about it, maybe you can. Maybe there's a different way to do this, huh, Colleen?
Yes, and being exposed to other individuals who have accomplished things, who have, you know, a different thought pattern. I was reading something the other day, and it was talking about our brains are actually wired for negativity, which is really sad. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And that we can actually train our brain to look for the positive. Dr. Amen, if you're familiar with his brain work, this research has come out of his clinic that, you know, the average brain is actually wired for negativity. And what would it be like if we do have the power? We know now the neuroplasticity of the brain, that anything can, in fact, be changed in the brain, that we literally can train our brain to look for the positive. Isn't that
a good positive thought? Yes, that's very exciting to hear that. I never heard that the brain is trained for negativity. My goodness.
Yeah, it's wired. It's kind of wired for negativity. And so we want to kind of flip that switch and move it toward the positive, which is now, you know, now with the time that we're in, actually this pause that we've had, the pause that has been the feminine energy, as I talked about before in the March show, this allows us to pull in that energy of the right and the left brain, the whole brain, and to, you know, allow that energy to move through our brain, whole brain thinking, to be more positive. And actually, when you get into whole brain thinking, you can see the two sides of everything. And then once you see the two sides of everything, then you have a choice of whether you go positive or whether you go negative.
So this is really good new stuff. I know you do a lot of research, but I think because you're a practical person, because you deal with people every day and they come to you because they need help. And I'm sure as a person who gives help, you certainly get help also, don't you?
Oh, of course. You know, you have to do your own work as well. And everybody that comes, you know, has their story. And it's amazing to see the story and how you learn, you know, through each other's story, through each other's journey. You know, we really are a gift and a blessing to each other. And particularly the opportunity to share the stories and to share the stories of moving out of the negativity, moving out of the depression. And for those that might be suffering with depression right now, it is really important to take a look at what's really down under, you know, down under the depression. I've been working with clients lately to follow things down. You know, I'll ask somebody a question and they'll give me an answer, and I'll say, and what's under that? And they'll give me an answer, and what's under that? And they'll give me an answer, and what's under that? And they'll give me an answer, and then what's under that? And so it's very revealing to see what, you know, what kinds of things. It kind of takes us through, you know, our mind to the to the subconscious, to the unconscious. And then what really is that energy pattern that's locked down in there in the body that we haven't been able to change, switch, repattern?
Well, let me just tell everybody again, you've been listening to Colleen Haney. I mean, I'm ANITA FINLEY. You know who I am, and I have great guests. And Colleen Haney is the owner, founder of Communicating Energy Wellness Institute, located in Boca Raton. And I'll give you a phone number for her, and it's 561-212-6862, right?
Yes, correct. Thank
you. Got
you.
that? Okay,
Thank
we've
you.
got that. I want to make sure everybody, remember this is Pencil Talk Radio. You want to write that number down. It's 212-6862 with area code 561. So in the few minutes we have left, Colleen, hopefully next time you're on the show, we are even better off with this coronavirus, and that we're getting more help, but I still have to tell everybody to be careful, right?
Yes. Well, be wise. You know, careful implies there's something bad or wrong out there. And if we give the power to the virus that it can get us, then that's a whole energy thought. If you believe, as we said before, that you're like that blade of grass with a life force in you, that nothing is going to stop you, no virus is going to attach to you. No virus is going to attach to you. You know, it's that belief system in you. Are you more powerful than a virus? Now, I will also say very quickly that this has been a time for a lot of people, a lot of souls to leave the planet. That it has been a time where souls were ready, contracts were done, and it was a time just like wars, just like plagues, just like things that have happened throughout civilization, that you have seen there have been periods of time where large populations have been wiped out. That's nothing new. That is also kind of the whole process of nature, because nature will come along with a forest fire. Nature will come along with a tsunami. So this was a point in time that many souls used to leave the planet. And it doesn't mean there's anything bad or wrong. It just meant this was their time to leave.
And now we have to leave. It was appropriate that you talked about that. And thank you, Colleen, for sharing your thoughts. And
thank you.
Appreciate your help so much. And everybody should really take a lot of the things that Colleen said and think about it. Just sit and be quiet, and then you need help, please do call her. Okay, Colleen, another time.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too, Colleen. Bye. We'll be right back.